Alright, today we're unpacking a timeless story. It's really all about conviction, about what it means to hold on to what you believe, especially when it feels like the whole world is telling you you're crazy. So let's just start with a question that really gets to the heart of this. Have you ever been in a spot where you had to stand by an idea, or maybe a project, that everyone around you just thought was completely absurd? It's a tough place to be, and it's exactly where our story kicks off. And this quote right here, this is the core message we're exploring. It comes from a really powerful ancient parable that shows us how what we see and what's real can be two totally different things, especially when faith gets involved. Okay, so let's set the scene. The story begins in a nation that had been given so many gifts, so many blessings. But, instead of gratitude, the people were just filled with arrogance. They'd completely lost their way. And into this world of disbelief and pride comes this one single voice of reason, of patience, a prophet, Noah, who was sent with a really clear, simple mission: invite people back to the truth.
Now, what's so fascinating about this next part isn't just the message itself, but how incredibly long Noah delivered it, and of course, how people reacted to all his hard work.
Look, this wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't a week-long campaign. Noah preached with just unbelievable patience, not for days or months, but for many, many, many long years. We're talking about a whole generation passing by while he stayed completely true to his mission.
So, what did all that unwavering commitment get him?
Mockery. That's it. Despite all his dedication, the vast majority of people just laughed at him. They completely dismissed his warnings like he was some kind of fool.
So after years and years of being totally ignored, the story takes a huge turn. It goes from just words and warnings to a command from God that seemed, completely bizarre. This is where the visual proof of Noah's supposed foolishness really starts to take shape.
The instruction he received was simple, but it was also absolutely monumental. Noah was told to start a massive construction project. He had to build a great ship, an ark.
And here it is. This is the part that made zero logical sense to anybody watching. Where was he building this giant boat? On dry land? Miles and miles away from any ocean or sea. I mean, you can just picture it, right? People walking by every single day, just shaking their heads, probably whispering to each other. For them, this ridiculous project was the ultimate proof that he'd finally lost his mind.
But amidst all of that laughter, all of that scorn, what did Noah do? He just kept on building. His faith in the promise he'd been given never wavered, not for a second. Every day, he picked up his tools and just kept working.
Okay, now we get to the dramatic climax of the story. This is that moment where everything just flips, where the thing everyone thought was unbelievable suddenly becomes terrifyingly, undeniably real.
This whole catastrophe didn't happen in an instant. It unfolded in this really dramatic sequence. First, the sky just turned dark. Then this heavy rain starts to fall. But it wasn't only rain. Water also started rising up from the ground itself until the land that seemed so permanent and safe was just gone, covered.
And where was Noah in all this? He, along with the very few people who actually listened, and all the animals, were safe and dry inside the very ship that everyone had called a monument to his foolishness. So, after the storm finally passes, we see the real, powerful outcome of Noah's incredible conviction. We see what happens when the thing that looked so foolish is revealed as the only wise thing to have done. This slide just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly contrasts how things looked versus how they actually were. What the crowd saw as a joke, this ship on sand, turned out to be the only safe place on the entire planet. Talk about a perspective shift. And when those waters finally went down, the ark, that thing that was once a public symbol of foolishness, it became the vessel for a brand new beginning for life on Earth. So, what's the big takeaway here? This story is such a timeless lesson. Conviction isn't about being stubborn. It's about holding on to a truth that's so clear to you that all the mockery in the world just becomes background noise. The person who stays committed to that right path, not out of arrogance, but out of faith, that's the person who wins in the end. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to reflect on for our own lives. What's the seemingly foolish or unbelievable or just plain difficult task that you're being called to build? What's the conviction you need to hold on to, even when the world is telling you it makes absolutely no sense?